Our document is in need of a lot of formatting. So let's start talking about what we can do to change and format text. And we will be getting into a little bit of CSS because Dreamweaver has a tendency to want to nudge us in that direction. But for the most part, we'll be doing some just standard HTML tag kind of things and explaining how that works. The Wichita Visitor site up here needs to be bigger. That's our headline. Headlines run what we call top fold in a newspaper. They get our attention. They decide by their words if we want to read or be on the site. So they're important. Wichita Visitor site needs to be bigger, number one. So let's do this. You do not have to select the text. Just be in the paragraph somewhere. Go up to the word format on the pull-down menu and go down to paragraph format. It is in what's called the paragraph font. When you bring text into Dreamweaver, it makes certain assumptions about what it's going to be. We need to change those assumptions. We have a heading 1 through heading 6 tag. Each one gets basically a little bit smaller. Let's go heading 1. Come over here and down to heading 1, and it will make it bigger. I would like to center it too for some reason. I want to center it. So we're going to come up here to Format again and go to Align and go into Center. Remember one thing. We are centering this text on an uncontained document, which means the centering is relative to the width of this particular site. So if somebody opens it up and they don't have the same width, it's going to look different. And you can prove that just by doing this. Let's do one more thing too. Let's get rid of this tracing image. It served a purpose. I showed you how to do it, but we really don't need it right now. So let's do this. Go up to the word Modify in the pull-down menu and go down to Page Properties. And then go down to Tracing Image. Select it right here. And press the Get Rid of Text key, the Delete key, and click OK. All right, so that doesn't really change anything on how the page is going to work. It's still going to do the same thing. It's going to format based on width of the browser window. So let's stay on the same page by doing this. Click this button right here and go down to 955 by 600. And so we're kind of all looking at the same thing. Okay, we've made our heading bigger, which is good. We like that. And we need to do some other things here. Let's say we want to indent the text on those two paragraphs. And also, let's get rid of this additional paragraph here. And actually, there's nothing there, but it's a character return. Let's get rid of that. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Select this paragraph just by being in it. Remember, paragraph controls don't require selection. Just be there. Go up to the word Format again and go Indent. We do the same thing to the next paragraph. Format, Indent. We could have selected both at the same time. You will notice that it's indenting on the left and the right. And I don't know, we kind of like that too, so we're happy. Our city at work doesn't need to be that big. I don't want every headline to be the same. And this is our major headline. That's a secondary one. So be there somewhere. Just click inside there and go to the word Format one more time and go down to Paragraph Format. We'll do a heading 2. That's just going to basically make it smaller, and we're happy with that. Make sure you have the Text tab selected here. Remember, we are in the Classic workspace. That's important. Say you want to, bold something. So you come over here and you say City Government. Yeah, I should bold that. So we're going to bold City Government with a B. That's a standard HTML B tag. And we're going to say highest consideration. We're going to italicize the word highest. Highest in reading is what we call a mental raise of voice. You'll kind of mentally raise your voice when you read a word that's italicized. So we'll say the citizens the highest consideration. It's called stylizing words. Down here, we're going to do City Government again. But this time we're going to use the strong button, not the bold, and watch what happens. Kind of looks the same, right? Provide leadership. Let's not italicize, let's emphasize that word. I have students ask me what's the difference, because they sure do look the same to me, and there is a difference. If you use B and I for bold or italic, those are HTML tags, basically you're bolding or you're italicizing the text. But if you use the S command or the EM command, strong and emphasize, those work with the new reader programs for the visually handicapped. So when they come across the word leadership and they're reading it to the person who really can't see it on the screen, it's going to say to provide leadership. City government would be stronger, okay? It would be city government pledges to provide leadership. You don't get that with a B and an I. Handicap standards are very important because they're being set by the people that control all of this stuff. And B and I really are just outdated tags, to be honest with you. Strong and emphasis work in conjunction with the reader programs. That's the main difference between those two. Let's do something else in terms of formatting here before we run out of time, and that is let's change the Wichita Visitor site to a different color. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Select it. This is like Microsoft Word. Now, you don't have to do this all the time. In this case, the way we're doing it, we have to select it. So select the Wichita Visitor site, go up to the Word format, and go down to color. Let me stop for a minute and do my kind of rant on color. We are currently on the WebSafe colors, okay, and then that's fine. You've got Crayons Developer, you got Apple Colors, you got all these different buttons up here. You can do just about anything that you want. We're going to stay on WebSafe for a second, but I want to talk about WebSafe. The WebSafe colors came out many years ago before electricity, when the internet was young, and we all sat around working on our computers with candles because we didn't have light bulbs. Okay, a little bit of an overemphasis there. Sorry about that. The whole idea, though, is back in those days, and we're talking about decades ago, computer monitors only had 256 possible colors. The smallest monitor today has 16.7 million. 256 colors. Mac and Windows jumped on that thing in 1984 and said, I want 40 of those colors, and those 40 colors are going to be my operating system colors. That left 216 colors. That's what WebSafe colors represent. 216 colors. Please, give me a break, all right? We can use more than 216, and I don't care if I get email on that or not. This is what I believe, and that's what I'm going to teach. We will stay on WebSafe colors for now, okay, that's fine. But understand, systems today above 5.5 on your browser support ICC profiles. That's International Color Consortium. We can use just about any dang colors that we want. Pardon my French. Let's do this. Let's scroll down. Let's use one of these, like a bluish kind of color, right? Blue is actually psychologically the color of trust. And I can imagine the Wichita Visitor site is a site that I want to trust, so I'm going to use that color. Click OK, but watch what happens when I do. CSS. Andy, I thought we weren't getting into this yet. You're right, we're not. But what Dreamweaver is doing is it's gently nudging us toward a better way to program. CSS rules are a better way to do this, and we, this time, are going to go along with it. Now, we're not going to spend a lot of time here because we're going to take care of this little dialog box in detail in a little bit. But what are we doing? We're defining what's called a cascading style sheet rule for that text that changes its color. We're not going to change anything up here. We're going to use this button right here, but we have to give it a name. We're going to start with a period. They all start with periods, and we're going to call it, say, text heading. That's fine. Click the OK button. Don't worry about anything else. We'll get into it later. And boom, there you go. Now here's the cool thing that I love about CSS. Are you sitting down? Because I want you sitting down. I want to change the color of our city at work. Do not select it. It's a paragraph. Just be in that paragraph somewhere. Come down here to the panel. This is just another way to get it. See the word class? Click that button and you will notice I have text heading. I've got some others. Don't worry about those. Text heading is the one we just made. And there you go. Notice also, it didn't change the size. It just changed the color, even left the formatting at left justified. CSS is absolutely brilliant in what it does. And we will be getting into it in detail in later chapters, but I'm not ignoring and using color statements which are depreciated. I'm using CSS, and Dreamweaver is helping me do it. I love that feature. Okay, so we got that done. What's left? Well, you do have other ways of accessing the stuff that is under this pull-down menu, and even the ones that we've been clicking up here. You've got the Properties panel, and some of the options are down here, like bold, italic, which for us are going to be strong in emphasis. You've got buttons for ordered and unordered list, and indenting, which is actually called a block quote. That's what we did up here. So we're beginning to do some formatting to this document. We still have a lot more to go. In the next segment, though, we're going to look at how we make bulleted lists or ordered lists, and we're going to use that on our City at Work stuff. So don't forget to save this document the way it is.